ways. What you can do, if you are waiting to be seen by anybody, if you've just developed tinnitus or you've had it a long time, can't stress enough how important the sound therapy is for just your brain having another sound to listen to and pay attention to other than the tinnitus, because the less attention you give that tinnitus, the less attention you pay to it, it actually goes down in level. And that's really crucially important. I think one of the things I do when people come to see me is try and explain in a way that hopefully everyone understands how the mechanism works with tinnitus in some cases. And so when we develop a sound that we don't understand, and but therefore you've got tinnitus, this noise has appeared out of nowhere. And don't forget, this might not just be ringing, it might actually be sounding like a drill or a lorry running. And so suddenly you're running around the house saying, where's that dripping noise, or where's that lorry going? And for some people, it's actually musical hallucinations. So they literally hear a song being played over and over again. And it may be the same song, it may change, and it usually has an emotional attachment. So there's lots and lots of different sounds that you can get with tinnitus. And what you can do straight away, of course, is to be able to bathe yourself in another sound and hopefully allow your brain to pay less attention to it. But what's happening is that the minute you've had that scared response to hearing something, your brain then, what does it do? It has this inbuilt response to it to say, oh, okay, right, well, I'm scared, I'm frightened, I'm going to release some stress hormones. And what happens is then your body, in reaction to the stress hormones, tunes the tinnitus in more because it sees it as a threat. It's part of that fight or flight cycle that we have. So suddenly your body's saying, I'm in danger. I'm sensing I'm in danger. But in doing so, you release even more stress hormones because you can't find out what that sound is. And in doing so, those stress hormones make the tinnitus louder. So you literally can make your own tinnitus louder by your reaction to the tinnitus. Now, I was really fortunate when I developed my tinnitus a long time ago. I knew what it was. I didn't have that scared reaction to it, but my goodness me, if I had, it would have been a very different situation. So if we can get in straight away and be saying to people, look, as soon as you experience this, understand that there's this mechanism that if you get scared by it or upset by the sound, you're actually going to be making it louder. You need to somehow change your reaction to the tinnitus. And that can be helped and significantly by just listening to a sound for at least 8 hours a day. Well, it's worth trying, and trying as quickly as you can, really. And you can do that yourself. You don't have to be seeing a professional to get started on doing that, but it's really useful to get that tailored to you by seeing a professional as well. But it's a step that you can take immediately. And you can advise any of your friends who first experienced tinnitus to get on and start using the app, which has got really useful information. But there are lots of sounds out there these days. Some people have an Alexa, and you can just say, Alexa, play me a tinnitus calming sound. Fantastic. Anything that can get you started on that pathway of habituating. We can habituate to any sound that we hear if we allow ourselves to. But if we have that scared or anxious response to the sound, we can't allow ourselves to habituate to it, because our brain is telling us, no, this is dangerous. This is something that we're scared of. And this is something that's causing us stress and anxiety. So I can't habituate. I must pay attention to it. It's really important that I do. And that's that inbuilt instinct that we have, that fight or flight. It's crucial. It's a lifesaver. We have it there for a really good reason. The thing is that we don't need it in this cycle. And so that's where tinnitus can get really out of hand for people, is having that emotional response, which is a normal response. And I don't want people to think, oh, well, I don't get stressy. It's a normal response to have to it. You can't help it. Your body's doing that. And it's about you seeing that for what it is and saying to yourself, okay, right, how can I change my reactions to it? And that's what a good audiologist is going to do. And a hearing therapist is obviously magic at doing it. But that's what we're intending to try and do, is change your reaction to the tinnitus. If we can break that cycle for you, then you will start to hear the tinnitus less. It will become less of a problem to you, and you will be able to manage it better. And it's just finding what works for you. But
That's a wonderful answer. It's lovely. I mean, I used to set up my sound therapy around the house so that in the evening, in the worst times, when I started to know how to take control of it, so I used to set it up in the evening. I'd set the room up, make it really feel nice, have a book, which was another distraction.
Yeah. Yeah.
There'd be something positive going on downstairs. I'd maybe make a cup of tea. There would be sound down there also. The kind of house was hardwired for sound that
Yeah.
wasn't in the way. So I wasn't playing pop songs per se. I was playing sound therapy, but it was below my tinnitus. So every room or a feeling that I had was a feeling of not being anxious towards that sound, like you're saying. And then when I woke up, the same thing applied, and it made so much difference. And then I had fun with it. Gradually what was happening, and it sounds a bit perverse, I started to then play with my own tinnitus sound. So I'd make sounds that maybe I'd encourage to go out again. So, but first with hyperacusis, I felt like I was too afraid to go out of my door. It was too much. So I then would have fun. So I'd create the sounds of motorbikes. I'd create the sounds of industry, all those weird sounds that I was afraid of that were hurting me. I would suddenly be playing them. So I'd be desensitizing myself. So again, you're taking the shock and you're taking that kind of shock and awe out of the sound, or the perception that you're going to think you're going to experience when you go outside. And so then you start to encourage that to happen, and you look forward to sound. So my relationship with sound has definitely changed. It's like, obviously I'm a musician, but then I felt threatened by sound, but I then went back to using sound to heal myself again. Because I mean, that was just so important. I knew that that would be the answer to it, along with the idea of getting rid of the heat of the anxiety and the stress, like you're saying, from the stress hormone. I have another